Fixed firm strengthens and restores the ankles, knees, and hips. It's one of those postures that looks straightforward enough until you try doing it. Because of my arthritic knees and hips, I could never do this posture until I realized my whole mindset to yoga was wrong. Applying the mantra relax and open and ensuring the body is always dynamically engaged, everything changed overnight. My arthritic hip was not the issue, it was my approach. That said, I still find it hard, but not impossible. Fix firm. Start from kneeling, come up onto all fours, keep your knees together and separate your feet out. Make sure your feet are in line with the calf muscles straight. On an exhale, push the bum back and sit down. You might need to separate your knees a bit, as I do. Now, do not let the hips touch the floor. Then bring the hands behind, palms on the floor, fingers facing forward. Take a deep inhale. And then on the exhale, relax. Drive your chest away from the hip. Keep the bum relaxed. Keep it off the floor. Pulling your spine open as you go back. And get the shoulders on the floor. And then bring the arms overhead. You can either grab the elbows, or I prefer to interlace the fingers, release the index fingers, cross the thumb. And then pause to the inhale. And then exhale, expand your body open. Drive the knees forward, open the hips. Open out the shoulders, open out the chest. Inhale, pause. Exhale, relax and pull your structure open. Open out. Inhale, pause. Exhale, pull your structure open. To change, bring the hands back, walk yourself up. As I said, this is one of those postures that looks straightforward enough until you try doing it. Despite that, with the right mindset, most students succeed. However, with the wrong mindset, students could be struggling for years and years and years. I'm now going to outline the typical hurdles a lot of students experience with this posture. Mainly, they are the ankles, knees, and hips. Like so many students, I found this posture one of the most hardest I could ever do. To start off with, it was my ankles, and then I found issue with my knees, and then it got into my hips, and I just could not do it. What I now know was my issue was my approach was extremely passive. So I'd get to a point about here where I couldn't come down anymore because I had tight ankles. And I would rest my hands and support my hands and come down to a point where I couldn't go anymore and then just rest there. And then eventually, a year after, literally, I was here for about a year. And then eventually the ankles opened up, and then I got into my knees. And again, I kept resting. And then eventually I could come down more, and I got into my hips. My hips took years to open out. And now I know my whole problem was I was resting. I'd get to a point where I couldn't go anymore, and I'd just rest and relax into it, which achieved literally nothing. Well, it took me years to get there, so I suppose you could say not nothing. What I now see with some of my students who have far worse ankle, hips, and knee issues than I did transform rapidly into this posture. And the key is to be always dynamically engaged. So if you get to here, and because of you got tight ankles, you can only go to here, you don't just rest here and go rest. No, you keep the body up and you dynamically pull your structure open. And then if you can come, when you get to a point about here, let's say you can get to about here, again, you don't rest here, you pull the body up, get the hips slightly up, pull away slightly, but dynamically open. So that is dynamically engaging the knees, whereas this doesn't. And also dynamically engage the hips, where this doesn't. That's the way to move forward. If you keep your body dynamically engaged, wherever the position is, you will be quickly able to come down and then move into the full expression.